Okay, so I'm back. I did decide actually in the break to go with my cheaper brush because I actually am kind of wanting a coarser. The thicker and the denser the brush, the more precise you're going to be, and the less, I guess, coarse really your highlights are going to be. And I'm actually looking for a pretty coarse highlight on this. So I've gone in and I'm just lightening up by painting against the texture. You can see on the face here. If you paint up against, you'll kind of lighten the brow. And what we're looking for is just to bring some depth to you see that versus that. So there's a little more depth. It's going to be subtle at first, even though, like I said, I'm going with a really heavy dry brush with a lot of paint on it. But that's sort of the goal, is just to get the whole body to kind of have a tone to it. Sorry, I'm having trouble keeping it in the camera because I'm not used to dry brushing so far away from my face. Get a little more paint on there, and get it off. And it's really just, you get a feel for when you have enough, for when you're at the point that you're happy with the depth of the color. And I'm just about there for my first color. See, he's got it. It doesn't have to be even. And down here I've left it a little darker because it's in the shadows. Up under here, same thing. You can get a little bit, but you don't want to get too much. And then the most important, I think, always is the face, just to make sure the face has plenty of, highlights and shadows still in it. And you can see there's sort of a highlight and a low tone between the colors. And now that it's at that point, we're going to lighten our paint again. You can see also it's sort of got that pink tone that I was talking about. And in here, my paint wasn't all the way dry, my bottom coat, so there's a lesson to be learned to watch out for that, because you'll actually start just mixing paint together, and that's not good because I've lost all of my shadow in there, which I'm okay with because this is just going to be one figure out of a lot, but you want to try to avoid it if you can. Now to lighten the paint, I'm just going to add a little more of that same antique white, and this time I'm going to add more like a full drop, because I want to get it pretty light this time, because now we're going to go in and really highlight specific areas. That is pretty light though. That might be too light. I'm going to add a little bit more of my dark back in there, because I think that probably is too light. You just get a feel for what you're going for. And, worst case scenario, you darken it up too much and you just go back over it again. See, now we're looking at probably too dark again. So it really is just sort of playing with it till you find exactly what's right. In fact, what I'm going to do here is, one thing you can do is just drop your paint on one side and then just bring a little bit in on your brush, or your toothpick rather than. See, that's probably really good right there, just that one side. Alright, and now I'm going to use a much finer tipped dry brush. This was more of a, I don't know if you can see it, it's a flat tipped brush.